All right.
Let's take a look at their builds here. On the left, we have Dreamboat Brian Kibler. He's piloting
the American Joel Larson, as it were.
Yeah, American Swedish Kibler is playing one of the classic Borzov decks, Brozov.
Right.
You know, Orzhov with a Boros Splash. His mana's looking pretty decent. It looks like the only red that he's really splashing is the Miser's Aurelia's Fury. A very reasonable splash indeed.
So Carl's playing an Esper deck. It's actually a straight 3-color deck. His mana base is 6/5/4, so no real bias to it. He actually starts out with all 3 of his colors with a Guildgate into Daring Skyjack. So all his colors online. Kibler appears to be stuck on 2 lands, but he does make up his Copa Guildmage.
3/1 gets in there, and it's a quick trade.
Yeah, looking at the Esper deck, he has a lot of. It looks like he has a lot of decent late game. Versteeg has multiple guild mages, 1,000 lashes, soul ransom, call of the Nightwing. He has a lot of ways really to push his card advantage if he can get ahead here.
And it looks like Kibler has Aurelia's Fury among a variety of other mediocre gray ogres.
Yeah.
If he can just sculpt the game in such a way so that when he eventually finds his red mana, that he can, perhaps use it as a game-winning play.
So Versteeg pushing the aggro a little bit there with Undercity Informer.
Now, how much mill does Carl actually have? Is milling somebody out realistic with his deck? He just played another.
I don't. Yeah. So he has the grind there off of Balustrade Spy, which mills for 2. It doesn't look like he has a Duskmantle Guildmage. That's not. That's something that if the game goes late, he can possibly mill someone. Outside of that, no, it's really just those 2 cards. I would be surprised to see him actually mill someone.
So that's actually one of Kibler's only 3 red sources. He has only 1 more mountain and then a Prophetic Prism in terms of being able to cast that Aurelia's Fury.
That's very interesting. Okay.
The Spy gets in there.
Yep.
Carl playing the 2 3s for days against your 2 2s game.
Yeah.
Very effective.
It's Versteeg then, and then, so kind of on the mill plan, we do have Duskmantle Guildmage on the table now.
Now this is his 3rd mill card in a row, right?
Right, and I believe these are all the mill cards in his deck. He has a Psychic Strike, which mills for 2 more, but he has, no real, proactive mill plan. So we have Balustrade Spy, the 1 grind. The Undercity Informer could theoretically get, if he gets enough creatures, win the game on the spot. But Guildmage gives him the ability just to push his advantage a little bit here.
All right, so looks like everything's coming together for Carl. Does he need double blue for anything?
So he has a Simic Manipulator in his deck.
All right.
Which is great. I mean, obviously he's pretty low on cards in hand, so that wouldn't be the. I mean, it would take a while to get online. That appears to be his only double blue spell, though.
So it looks like Kibler's making an apparition at instant speed, which will allow him to tap the Spy.
Right. Interestingly enough, Versteeg also has a play that if he can get Kibler low enough on life, he can activate Duskmantle Guildmage and then Undercity Informer sack his team to do somewhere around 8 damage. Probably somewhere 2 to 3 damage per creature. So Kibler, I feel like at this point, has to be sure that he keeps his life total somewhat reasonable here.
Oh, so he's actually not tapping the Spy. He just wants to tap the Undercity Informer so he can keep the beats going.
Okay. So.
Now, we just saw Carl mill Kibler? Did Kibler play a removal spell?
Yeah. Okay, he got the Smite. There we go. And so Kibler finally hits his 4th land. His hand is really hard to discern, but yeah, still has the Aurelia's Fury.
Kibler going on the offensive. Now, what do you think? Is there any chance Carl actually trades here?
Well, in Carl's situation, I don't. No, I guess my short answer would be no. I don't think he would trade very much here.
That the Seer is just worth too much more to him.
Yeah, the Guildmage is worth more than. I mean, the best trade would be for Court Street Denizen, to be sure.
That's his.
That's a second red source. Now only Prophetic Prism left, and we'll see Grisly Spectacle, and he'll sack to grind again, and hits a plains.
So Carl untapping.
Yeah, only with 1 creature.
A bit behind on the board.
Yeah.
Draws another land.
Yeah.
Now, how much defense does Carl really have? Like, how many creatures does he have that can stabilize in this position?
He doesn't have too many large creatures. Vizkopa Confessor doesn't really stabilize. He has a Dinrova Horror in his deck, That's something that could possibly stabilize him. Outside of that, one of the issues actually, or one of the weaknesses with his deck, he has a Nav Squad Commandos in the main, is that he doesn't have too many stabilizing creatures. He has a fair number of kill spells, and a good amount of aggression. But yeah, playing defense is a little hard for him.
So Kibler continues with the mediocre beats.
Right.
What's Kibler's game plan at this point? Just keep pushing his advantage and trying to get Carl down low before.
Well, do you see him left with another option? I mean, I like on this board originally, aggro with just 2 2/2s and 1/1 wouldn't be something I'd be really excited about. But I don't see another line for him.
So he does have a 5th land in his hand, the 2nd Plains, and he's got the Angel, the Skirmisher, which is one of his best cards. The Angelic Skirmisher, which can give his creatures lifelink or other abilities.
Yeah. So Versteeg, I think he activated the damage ability of the Guild Mage, and then Grisly Spectacle, the Court Street Denizen, so that actually 2'd him on the mill, pushing Brian down to 11. Versteeg doesn't have a 2nd blue, so he can't actually use that Guild Mage to push much more damage. Yeah, he does have Angelic Skirmisher, so 1 more land. Remember, that Skirmisher kind of has pseudo haste with its ability.
Absolutely. It looks like he does not yet have the land.
Game actually pretty close, but he does have Guardian of the Gateless.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have to settle for an Angel, you could do worse.
Versteeg mills for 2, but yeah, no 2nd blue, despite all the lands he has. And that's Hands of Binding he's drawn.
So that's not bad here.
No, not terrible at all. It's unfortunately, he's still kind of choked on that blue mana.
Mm-hmm. But he's starting to get Kibler down low enough that if he draws a blue mana,
right,
to begin with, this is going to make it very hard for Kibler to, Kibler's attack is going to be very, very blunted. He needs that Angelic Skirmisher, and he needs it fast.
Right. And there we go. That should do it for him. Yep, Skirmisher in play, and we'll... So, what is it? The Skirmisher can give creatures First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink at the beginning of each combat, including this one that he's cast it.
So what do you think? Does he attack with lifelink here, just to give himself a little bit more of a cushion? Just get in for 1?
Absolutely. I would.
Because the only other alternative is, I guess, attack with Vigilance, just because you're, if you're paranoid. Oh,
okay,
he does attack.
He's gonna do Vigilance. I guess he doesn't want to lose to something like a, Kill Spell. I don't know. Kill Spell still is pretty bad for him. Both are fine. It's this next attack that's going to be the really important one.
Yeah, because if Kibler can get in 1 good crack with his team, life-linked, that will put him mostly safe. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. Well, he actually has him dead. Yeah, he has him almost dead in the air. Okay.
So, what do you think Kibler's plan is here? I mean, this is a pretty aggressive attack. Like, it's real hard to actually have your Angel block the Duskmantle Seer here.
I'd probably just chump it. I feel okay. The attack doesn't happen, I guess.
He chooses First Strike. Well, I think.
Yeah. Okay. He didn't realize it was both combats. So Kibler stopped him at combat, said, "I choose First Strike," and then Carl's like, "Oh, okay. I don't attack then." Is I think what happened.
So Kibler surveying the game state. I think he might have been checking to see about that Prophetic Prism.
Yeah. Going to combat here. Yeah, Versteeg kind of has flooded out this game. Does have 6, interestingly enough, Versteeg has 6 blue sources in his deck, but just was unable to find one right now. Mill for 4, and then he was
So this is going to put Kibler up to 17, if assuming that Carl has nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carl's just milling him. We're going to look at the cards and then scoop here, but...
Well, he can block.
Yeah, he can block and go to 1.
Yeah, just have 1 more draw phase. Oh, he packs it in. This tells Kibler that he does not have Merciless Eviction.
Right. In his hand. Or maybe on top, or on top of his deck. Yeah.
So, does Carl have anything in the sideboard to bring in?
Well, so what he just saw out of Kibler's deck is essentially just that Kibler is playing black-white with a lot of creatures, and I suppose an Angelic Skirmisher. He has plenty of cards that are fine. I don't know how many of them. He's not playing any Purge. He has 2 Purge of the Profanes in his deck, neither of which he's playing. I do like the card in the situation, but at the same time, if he hasn't put one in his main deck, I'm not really sure that this would make him suddenly want to put one in.
So what do you think about Kibler's about the possibility of Kibler playing more than 40 cards. I mean, he saw the Seer, he saw the Undercity Informer, he saw the Spy.
So you might think Versteeg's on a mill deck?
Yeah, I mean, he did mill quite a bit that game. Do you
Right.
think there's any chance that Kibler goes a little north of 40? I mean, he's got a few cards he could board in.
Not.
There's a few cards he could board in, like perhaps Midnight Recovery or Smog Elemental.
Yeah, Midnight Recovery I like because if your opponent's actively milling you, the card gets better. So that'd be the kind of thing I'd like to board in. I would say with things like milling in more cards, putting in more cards just to make a larger deck. Typically when I've got milled out in limited, it's been something like, you know, Mortu Strider, Undercity Informant, or something that can do the whole deck by itself. So boarding, you know, say 4 or 5 more cards really doesn't change the math behind it. Like if I'm getting milled, I'm probably still getting milled. So I don't know if I'd want to go over 40, but I could definitely see like boarding in a Midnight Recovery or something else that counteracts the mill strategy. Your own thoughts, though.
Oh, I mean, I played 47 cards in one of my matches at the PT last week.
Oh, awesome. That was it. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing with somebody who was playing Orzhov that happened to have the Undercity Informer and the Spy, and he played 2 Informers. It looked like he was, you know, he's doing an awful lot of milling. And I don't know. I don't think it's too bad. Like, as long as your card quality is high. You know?
Sure. If you aren't taking too much of a hit, and especially in draft, a lot of times you can go from 23 cards to up to probably to around 28 without sacrificing too much quality.
I think Kibler's got to come out. Well, I guess the burden actually might be on Carl to come out fast because Kibler does have a number of angels. Plus, he didn't even see the Aurelius Fury. But
Right. So he has Guardian the Gateless. He has Angelic Skirmisher.
2 Guardian of the Gateless.
Two
Right?
Guardian
No,
of the
is that right? No, just 1.
Okay.
You're right.
What did you said? Are there any other angels?
So he's got the Angelic Skirmisher, Assault Griffin, Guardian of the Gateless, plus a number of expensive creatures ranging from like the Commandos to Knight of Obligation. Seems like he's got a fair number of extort cards and flyers. And if the game goes big, he's got a fair number of removal spells as well.
Right.
Seems like we didn't see a ton of defense out of Carl. Does Carl at least have a lot of removal spells or something?
Yeah, and I think that's what he's probably has gotten him to this point. So when you look at removal spells, he has Executioner, Executioner Swing, Demir Charm, 1,000 Lashes, Psychic Strike, Soul Ransom, Grisly Spectacle, and and that's mostly it for removal. He also he does have a frontline medic as well, which at first I haven't seen an answer that Kibler had. I don't believe he Grisly Spectacled anything that game.
Yeah, Kibler. Now he does have 2 Angelic Edicts and 2 Grisly Spectacles.
Okay, so medic actually not that big of a problem.
Yeah, and Smite actually. So Kibler.
Well, Smite doesn't work against the medic because it'll be indestructible. Well,
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, unless you get in there early. Oh, Executioner Swing works though.
That is true. Yeah. Okay, so so people are probably with enough answers to not just get locked out of the game by that card.
What have you thought about Vizkopa Guildmage?
So it's an interesting card. It's very mana intensive. I mean, a lot of times it ends up being a grizzly bear. Granted, that's still fine. So I think if you can get the game to go late enough, if you get to 9 mana, the card becomes very good. Which so it's a lot of those guild mages. I think the thing is before you start hitting that 9 mana zone, its utility is.
So not even 6. 6 isn't even enough.
6 is fine. A lot of times I find when I'm in a Orzhov deck, so what you can do is what if I cast a spell and I'm going to extort, I could activate the guild mage, but that's really not much different than just extorting a second time. It's making them lose an extra point. There's some utility for it, but a lot of the times I'll go a game without activating it.
The last PT, Sam Black was building a whole bunch of Vizkopa Guildmage decks.
Sure.
Which actually I think was part of the origin of the Aristocrats deck, but he was playing a whole bunch of, he's playing an aggro deck with the 1/5 in it. Rock's Faithmender.
Okay.
So definitely some exotic brewing there.
Yeah, was that doing the Exquisite Blood combo with
yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Trying to set up the, if you get Vizkopa Guildmage, of course, with Exquisite Blood, if you can do any damage or gain any life, you just win.
Right.
Which is pretty easy to do given the Vizkopa Guildmage's lifelink ability.
Right, so you can make curves and you play a turn 5 Exquisite Blood, turn 6 you'll have the 6, if you just have the 6 mana up, you presumably can win from that spot.
Alright, so both players playing a guild gate. Looks like a very reasonable start from Kibler. He's got a good mix of lands and spells. The Syndic of Tides going to give him an early advantage.
Yeah, he has a pretty great Orzhov card. Syndic of Tides into the 3/1, into Skyjack with Extort, into Knight of Obligation. Carl's going to need some sort of early answers to not just get rolled over by this draw.
So how high of a pick do you think Syndic of Tides is?
I'm willing to first pick it. It's not in a draft. It's not a card that, it's not an exciting first pick, but it certainly is one of my favorite commons in Orzhov.
I was going to say, how many cards do you pick over it at common?
A common in Orzhov?
Yeah. Or no, at all?
At all. I think I prefer Basilicus creature to it at common. Though possibly, this gives you a chance to play Boros. Not many. I like Grisly Spectacle more than it as well.
So Carl, with just a Prophetic Prism, Kibler continuing the beats, he already has a Syndic of Tides and Daring Skyjick, and now we're going to see the Assault Griffin?
I think Assault Griffin. He could have saved it to Extort with Knight of Obligation, but at this point, he can put 6 mana in the air, 6 damage in the air really fast here.
So Carl's falling way behind.
Right.
It looks like he's got an awful lot of land and some expensive cards.
Yeah,
what's he got to do to turn this around?
Start killing things every turn, pretty much. Balustrade Spy would be a great start. Just something that can trade or eat a creature.
Oh, once again, shipping the turn.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
This is probably a Grisly Spectacle, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why he's waiting there. I don't know if there's any trick that actually punishes him for that play, but that seems strange.
So Kibler gets in there for 5 more. He drops the Knight of Obligation with yet another Extort.
Yes, that'll drop Carl down to 6 life. And with 2 Extorters in play, the problem is Kibler doesn't even really need to be attacking anymore.
This is going to be one more.
So Carl's going to need an impressive tempo shift here. Debating his options.
Into play, and he
does play the Spy.
Right, so right now, the Spy, he's going to drop to at least 4 on the next attack, so he's dead to a spell.
And that looks like that's it.
Okay, Kibler has
so Kibler takes the match 2-0 over Carl Versteeg.
Yeah. All right, so that will advance him to day 2. Granted, still a long road. Remember, they're going to have to hang on to that deck for 2 more rounds tomorrow morning. But Brian Kibler advancing to day 2.
For now.
For now, yeah. There's next round he's going to have to face another elimination match.
Yeah, but that's Kibler is definitely no stranger to having to face elimination. Being right up against the brink.
Right.
So I think he'll be all right, but it'll be interesting to see just how many people are here tomorrow morning. Right. We're talking about what would you say? At least